All right. So here's where I may convince you on why the metric system is so amazing. So if you want to convert between metric units, we're talking about orders of 10, which means we just need to multiply. We can either multiply by our conversion factor, or we can move our decimal to the right. So for example, we have 5.2 meters here, and we want to know how many centimeters there are. So remember, I'm just going to do it again over here on the left, I think. So we're over here. We've got 5.2 meters. Remember, we're going to put that over 1 just to remind ourselves that is a fraction. We want to multiply by a conversion factor that's going to have meters on the bottom so that they cancel out, and centimeters on the top, so our answer is left in centimeters. So if you go to your conversion factors on your formula sheet, now we're looking at the right-hand column because that's metric units of measure. So if we look under length, we see that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So I'm going to put 100 up here for centimeters and 1 down here for meters. So if I'm multiplying by 100 centimeters over 1 meter, we know those two things are equivalent. They mean the same amount of length. So we're really just multiplying by 1, which means our answer is going to be equivalent. It's going to be the same amount. We're just going to express it in different units. So our meters cancel. And now we have, so 5.2 times 100 gives us 520, and that's centimeters. Now, another way we could do this is we start with 5.2, flip in your formula sheet one more page over, and you'll come to converting metric units. So you'll see a staircase there. So let's look at the length one at the top, and we're going to look at meters. So you'll see 1 meter in kind of the center of that staircase. So we're on meters right now, and we want to get to centimeters. To get from meters to centimeters, we have to go right 2 steps down the staircase, which means our decimal place is going over 2 to the right. So that's why it becomes 520. Okay, another example, we have 8 kilometers. So I'm going to write that over 1. We want to, over 1, not hours. 8 kilometers over 1. We want to convert this in this time to meters. So I'm going to put kilometers on the bottom because we want kilometers to cancel, and meters on the top because we want our final answer in meters. And then if we look at our conversion table, you will see under length, we see that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So I'm going to put 1,000 up here and 1 here. My kilometers are going to cancel. And so I'm left with 8,000 meters. If you want to use the staircase, we're starting at 8. If you look for kilometers, they're going to be on the top left of that length staircase. To get from kilometers down to meters, we're going down 1, 2, 3 stairs to the right. So that means our decimal place is moving 1, 2, 3 over to the right. And that leaves us with 8,000 meters. Okay. If we're converting to larger metric units, we're going to divide or move the decimal to the left this time. So for example, let's say we had 43 millimeters. I'm going to do this with a conversion factor. So remember, that's really 43 millimeters over 1. Now I'm going to want a conversion factor that has millimeters on the bottom, so my millimeters cancel out, and centimeters on the top because I'm trying to convert to centimeters here. If you look at your length on your conversion factors, let's see, at the very bottom of it, it says 10 millimeters. That should be 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. So 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. Our millimeters cancel out. Okay, now if we multiply those two fractions, remember it's top times top over bottom times bottom. So we're going to have 43 centimeters over 10, which gives us 4.3 centimeters. So our answer here is 4.3 centimeters. if you want to use the staircase, let's go to the staircase. So we have 43 millimeters. So we're at the very bottom of our length staircase. We're trying to get to centimeters, which is one stair up to the left. So we're moving one stair to the left, which means our decimal from 43 is moving one over to the left. And so we end up at 4.3. Next one, so we have 430 centimeters, and this time we want meters. So I'm going to do that with the conversion factor first. We're going to put centimeters on the bottom and meters on the top. And then if we look at our conversion factors on our formula sheet, we'll see that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So let's multiply there. And so we get, well, let's cancel out our units first. Centimeters cancel out. So if we do the multiplication, we get 430 meters over 100. And then if we do that division, we're going to get 4.3 meters. And if we did it using the staircase, so we start out at 430. Remember, a decimal goes at the end of any whole number. So we're starting with centimeters. We're trying to get to millimeters. So we're moving one over on our staircase to the, wait a minute. We're on centimeters. We're trying to get to meters, sorry. So we're moving 2 over to the left on our staircase, which means our decimal here moves 2 over to the left. And we end up with 4.3. Okay, last one, we have 4,300 meters. So let's write that as a fraction over 1. We want to multiply by something where our meters will cancel out and we're left with kilometers. So if we look at our conversion factors, does it have kilometers? It does. It says 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So 1,000 meters per 1 kilometer. Our meters are going to cancel out here. So we end up with 4,300 kilometers over 1,000. And if you do that division, so 4,300 divided by 1,000, you will get 4.3, and that's kilometers. Okay, if you want to use your staircase, so we start at 4,300 meters. We're going to kilometers. So we start at kind of the middle of our staircase. We're going 1, 2, 3 stairs to the left. So that means our decimal goes 1, 2, 3 stairs to the left, giving us 4.3. So go ahead and pause this video and try these next questions on unit conversions. All right, let's do these unit conversions now. And I think I will, well, I think for these first 3, I'll do both methods and then I'll just use the staircase on the next. So we have 3,000 meters. We want to get to kilometers. So we're going to multiply by something where meters is on the bottom, so it cancels, and kilometers is on the top. And 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So if we do that division, our meters are going to cancel, and we're going to be left with 3 kilometers. Okay, or we could use our staircase. We're starting at meters. We're going 3 to the left, so our decimal place goes 3 to the left. Next one, we have 450 centimeters. We're trying to get to meters. And so there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Centimeters cancel, and we're left with 4.5 meters. Okay, and one more using the conversion factor method. So we have 1,200 millimeters. Okay, we're going to want millimeters on the bottom, so they cancel, and meters on the top. Well, that's an interesting one. Oh, we do know that. That is given in our conversion factors, I think. Let me make sure. Yes. So we see 1,000 millimeters is 1 meter. So that means we're dividing by 1,000. Our millimeters are going to cancel. And so we're going to be left then with 1.2 meters. Okay, let's use the staircase on some of these. So we have 78 millimeters. We're going to centimeters. So we're going 1 to the left, which means our decimal place is going to move 1 over to the left, and we're left with 7.8 centimeters. Next one, we start at 3,500 millimeters. We're moving to meters, so we're moving 1, 2, 3 stairs to the left. And so we end up with 3.5 meters. Okay, and if you take a look back, remember 1,000 millimeters is in 1 meter. So it makes sense that 3,000 millimeters would make about 3 meters. Okay, 750 centimeters, we want to move to meters. So we're moving 2 stairs over to the left, which means our decimal moves 2 over to the left, and we're left with 7.5 meters. Okay, 3 meters, we want to get to centimeters. So we start at 3 decimal. Meters to centimeters, we move 2 over to the right. So that means our decimal is moving 2 over to the right. And we end up with 300 centimeters. 370 millimeters, we want to get to meters. So we're moving 3 over to the left. So our decimal will move 3 over to the left, and we're left with 0.37 meters. Or you can write 0.370 meters. Both would mean the same thing for our purposes. All right, the next one, well, let's do it both ways, just so I can show you how to do this with conversion factors. If you're using the staircase, we're going from kilometers to centimeters. So we're moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stairs down. So that means 5 decimal places over. And we end up with 500,000 centimeters. Now, the other way you could do this one, we don't have a conversion factor that goes from kilometers to centimeters, but we do have one that goes from kilometers to meters. So what we're going to do is first convert it to meters. So we're going to have 1,000 meters per kilometer. Okay, those are going to cancel. Whoops, this should be in meters. Our kilometer units cancel then. Now we have something in meters, and we could do the multiplication there if we wanted. So we get 5,000 meters. Okay, so now we're left, we've got 5,000 meters. We want to get to centimeters. Now we have a conversion factor we could use. So we want our meters to cancel. We're going to be left with centimeters, and there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Now we will end up with 500,000 centimeters. So you have to do it in 2 steps if you're going to use the conversion factor method. All right, 4.5 kilometers to meters. So we're moving 1, 2, 3 stairs to the right. And so our answer then will be 4,500 meters. And last one, we have 43 meters. We want to get to millimeters. So we're moving 3 over to the right, leaving us with 43,000 millimeters.